still talking about how the parish development model is going to be implemented as we still look forward, waiting for President Museveni to officially launch it this month. But however, 180 billion shillings have been released as a fund to cater for that particular development under the National Development Plan 3 around the country to make sure the country goes ahead to achieve sustainable development and sustainable economic recovery. And also we were highlighting on how about, because there are around 10,090 actually parishes around the country. And when you look at that with the 180 billion, just as you take on, let me do the science here. Let me be calculating
and how much and how effective it will be.
Yes, how every parish will be getting. Because previously they were actually looking at giving a parish 30 million, not 30 billion, 30 million shillings. And with the 30 million, you can imagine, I don't know where you come from in Kajansi, you could be having maybe different, in a parish there are actually so many villages. So in a parish, Osangamo villages, which is taken on by the LOC one. So how many villages are in one parish?
You know, 30 million, this is one of the reasons that's why I was laughing. When
well, that's when I was cool.
You know, when you remember the Emyoga funds and the crisis around it, was that even the 30 million that they wanted to give to different groups, all different circles of a sort, most of the Ugandans and these different circles were really not happy with the 30 million. Some of them were like saying 30 million can only be used by one single circle. And if at all it was even 30 million for a certain parish, you'll find challenges of whether people will actually utilize these funds well accordingly. So the 30 million may go to a parish which has very few people, because you would see that there is a difference. There are some parishes that have a huge population and then others have very few people in there.
Of course it's not balanced, it's never balanced.
It's never balanced even if it's, so when you look at the situation when the population is not balanced as such, then the same amount of money, if at all someone gets the same amount of money to give out to the different parishes, let's say countrywide, you would agree that 30 million will not be enough to some of the parishes. And even those that we consider to receive and utilize that money may not be easy for them
and
to
now
make
actually
good use
it's
of it.
even less than 30 million. It's now less than 30 million actually, because if you're to look out for what the services or service providers, because in here they're going to be other extension, like for example extension workers, those who are going to bring closer the services and the sensitization of people for the program. All this needs, you know, catering for and needs facilitation. So you might find that money would not be also enough. But in case you do not know what really is a parish development model, this is whereby some commodities have been given priority, or were given priority actually, to make sure farmers, so this program the layman there, so that you are able to tap into agricultural produce and participate around the market of the country. So you will be planting, because there were around 14 commodities, including maize, including coffee, including teas among actually, including rice, milk production. But you look at what the country is still facing on the quality of what we are producing. Because just recently, Kenya still hunted us down with the aflatoxins and with our non-quality, poor quality of what we export in regards to maize.
And we actually even have a feature story coming up regarding that same matter of maize in Uganda.
Yeah, it will be highlighting that. But Sonko, look at the scenario where our product developments, our products are already being sent back to us, even when we're exporting. And then we want to try a model that is going to help produce more, production of more into the country. What do you think is going to happen? What is the analysis there?
When I look at this, first I looked at the money. I thought this money is too much. Before you made the science, the mathematics, the production will be important for us to increase our exports. But when you look at the money being less than 30 million, it may also be challenging in a way. Because one of the reasons as to why our exports are lowering, or we are not yet up to a certain state that we would want to be, is because of the low cost of production that we have. And the low cost of production that we have is always because of the limited funding that we input in some of these situations. So when you look at the farmers, the parish model, it may be possible for, like I said, in an area where there are very few people and this money can be greatly utilized. But in situations whereby where we have a number of people, it may not be enough funds.
But even look at the fact that we have inequalities in our villages. Where Kajansi, the parish, I don't know, where you live.
Parish. And, in Kajansi, people don't even do the farming. Only those who do small scale in their fences. So you could see.
When you compare now my parish in my village, it's very huge and has got different villages. But on that village, now there is families. I mean, I don't know how they're going to be doing it. We'll also be seeking experts here to tell us when it's launched, actually. You find a Sonko. Take an example in Karamoja, or even some households where they really circle the fences around, and then Sonko, you're here as a son, your brother is here. Like, you're so many families scattered around the same area. Remember, that is not considered as one family, because priorities are going to be, or even opportunities are going to come to individual families or families. So where about, like, in a homestead of around 12 people circling one settlement, those are 12 families. Someone else who has got maybe just one in just one location. I mean, we're going to be seeking advice on how what you will be surely expecting to receive regarding the packaging of the parish development model after its launch. What more can you add on it as we move further?
Well, you also talk about the Karamojongs. They actually have an issue still. For them, they also have other cases. They're supposed to move with a permit now with their livestock. Imagine someone moving with a permit. So to prove that is your that is your cattle.
Yes.
So that is your herd of cattle. You're supposed to have a permit, and your permit should show the number of the cows you're moving with during the pastoralism and all that.
Because the rustling has been going very well, and it has taken quite a long time, and maybe this was going to help.
Now, when you look at also this situation you mentioned about the parishes, now mine in Buyikwe, around there, Lugazi areas, there's a lot of sugarcane in there. So when you look at that, mainly you would see that very few people may benefit with this money, and number of parishes, and then the parishes are mainly covered up with sugar canes. So for those that are in there are the most farmers. But then I don't think, even if it is more than 20 million or even below 30 or above 30, would be enough for these particular people in terms of the parish model.
Yes, and as we continue that, we'll be shortly taking a break. But more so, what is there to note is that the government should reconsider the advice from CSOs, that is the civil society organizations, and to some extent, let it go down there. Let it help people understand that this is why we are bringing this. Even advise on really, the government might not do that, but I mean the implementation and facilitating, like extension workers, they know the right food or the right production that will come effectively from that particular place. So with that, we're going to have this model implemented very effectively without any problem. Even any challenges may arise, but very well, they can be managed or solved. So that is it from us speaking on parish development model under the program of the Development Plan 3 of the country to sustainably increase the sustainable living of its citizens. It still awaits for President Museveni to launch it officially this month. We take a break, but SMB continues after the break.